How to tell your friends and your family that you're a realtor. If you're diving into real estate, getting started, one of the most effective things you can do is to let your existing network know that you're active in the business and how you can go about helping and serving not just them, but the people they are connected with. So how do you go about that process? Well, in this video, I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna make it so simple that you won't even feel weird about doing it. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Tyler Roicki. I help people build income and wealth in real estate, and I run an international real estate team at eXp Realty. If you get any value whatsoever out of this video, all I'd ask is that you like, comment, and hit that subscribe button so that I can continue to share more tips and resources with you in the time ahead. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. So, how do I go about saying this? I'm a real estate agent, and do you need to buy a house? No. We're gonna toss that out right now. See, I know how it is. If you're getting into the business, it's probably a fear that you have. Letting people know, we don't want to sell our friends or family, and that's usually how people get caught up in this. And honestly, some people teach this incorrectly and they go about it incorrectly. I don't think that everyone knows the most effective way to approach this. So I'm gonna lay it out to you, and I could give you a script or dialogue. I'm gonna give you something that I believe will be more effective though, which is how to genuinely go about it. So to break it down, first and foremost, you've got to have the correct intent, because people will sense that when you're talking to them. The last thing that your friends or family wants is for another person that they know to get into sales and then leverage that connection to just sell them something. People don't want to be sold. So toss that out of the window. Now, that being said, it is important that you communicate with all these existing relationships and that they become aware of what it is you do, why you do it, and who it is that you're here to help. And that's the big key. Help. You're here to help, not sell. You need to approach people with that intention. And if that is not truly your intention, you're gonna fall flat on your face making these connections, and it's probably gonna feel weird and awkward because inside of you, you're hoping that you make it sell. Toss that idea out the window. Make your goal and intent in starting these conversations to help people, not to sell people. As simple as it sounds, it will make all the difference. Now, once you have your intent dialed in, it's important to understand what the actual goal with these conversations is. So building upon what we've already said here, your real goal isn't that one of these conversations leads to your friend or your family member raising their hand and being like, oh, I've got to buy a home. Maybe you can help me. That's not the goal. That would actually be like the worst case scenario. Hear me out. Because the best case scenario is that they would get you connected with somebody they know who could possibly use what it is that you bring to the table. Because think about it, the likelihood of your friend or family member needing your help buying or selling real estate in the next year, slim odds. Most people aren't making a move in the next 12 months. A small fraction of people will. So it's more likely that one of these friends or family members, being that they all probably have on average a pretty solid sized network, it's more likely that they know somebody else other than themselves who is gonna make a move in the next 12 months. And that's your real opportunity with every single one of these conversations, because every person you know on average, everyone you talk to, they're gonna know somebody, maybe multiple somebodies who could use the help of someone who does what it is you do in the next 12 months. So your goal with these conversations would be for that person that you know to connect you with the people that they know, or at least somebody they know who could use what it is that you offer. And so when I say what you offer, it's important to also understand what that actually means. Because what I mean by that isn't that you can offer to help someone buy or sell a house. That's not a valuable offer. So what could you bring to the table? What offer could you have that would actually be of value? Because for someone buying or selling a house, working with the realtor is not something of high value. The right realtor can bring a lot of value to the table, but people don't think to themselves, oh, I need to go find me a realtor, or I want to work with a realtor. It's not like the first thought that people have. Usually the first thought people have is how they're going to get to where it is they want to go with that next move. They're not even thinking about the actual process. The last thing they're thinking about is that they need a realtor. That only comes when they're truly ready to take that next step and they're figuring out who they got to connect with to do it. So to have that opportunity, what is something of value that you can bring to the table that would be super helpful for a buyer or even a seller? How can you simplify that process? How could a buyer in your market be better off for having connected with you rather than not? What if you were the plug on some down payment assistance? What if you were the plug on a particular builder that had a huge incentive that they were offering, and you had the information, and more importantly, you had the relationship to bring to the table with that particular builder? How valuable would that be? So you got to think in terms of value, because as you're having these conversations, that is something that can come up in the conversation, and you can put it on the table as something that could be helpful for other people that this person you're connected with knows. And that brings me to the approach, and this is the third key. Once you got your intent dialed in, you know the goal of the conversation, how do you approach people? Well, have something to offer that's of high value. That's the best thing you can do and actually have as you're approaching people. Be willing to give it to somebody who really needs it at this point in time. Something of high value, be willing to give it away, and approach people and start conversations in a natural, authentic way. Like, seriously, acknowledge something that people have going on in their lives. You know, if you saw something, and this is a little hack, by the way, you can pull up someone's social media as you're reaching out to your warm network, pull up their social media, look at it for 10 seconds, see if there's anything recent on their posts that you could reference. If there was something that they achieved, congratulate them on it. If there was a big milestone, if there was an anniversary, whatever the case is, acknowledge what happened and compliment them on it. But you know, that's the point that you can actually start the conversation, and it's actually part of a framework you can use called the ACA framework. So acknowledge what that person said in the conversation, compliment them on what they told you, and then ask the next question. So you can actually start a conversation talking about this other person, and with the next question, you can actually lead it in the direction you want to take the conversation. Which, one way you could take it is a follow-up question could be, well, hey, so how is everything going with work? And then they're going to tell you, and what naturally follows that is what? People reciprocate questions. They're probably gonna ask you how your work's going or something along those lines. And that's an easy way to really segue into what it is you're working on now, which, if this is all new to you, real estate, that's your cue to really make it known that you're serious about this and that you have a particular offer because you wanna help home buyers out in your marketplace. You wanna help people get into their first homes, and here's what you did to help people do that. And you end that by asking them a question, which is who they know who might want that offer that you bring to the table. Who do they know who could use that free thing, that down payment assistance, that builder incentive, anything along those lines that could help them get into their next home? Who do they know? And you can follow up that, and if you got that dialed in, I mean, sometimes the first answer isn't, they're not really just thinking of who they know at that point. Sometimes you gotta dig a little deeper, but the point is that takes the pressure off of you having to sell your friend. That takes the pressure off of it being an awkward situation where you're asking them if they need a realtor and your odds are slim. Like, go where the higher odds are and go with something that is a better approach, more genuine. Like, if the conversation, if you make it about them and not necessarily just about you and what you're doing and what you need, like, no, make it about them. Talk about them. And if you can take it to a point where the conversation shifts and they're more so reciprocating, asking you about you, that's open opportunity to get more into what it is you do, what you have to offer, who it's for, and who do they know who you could possibly help and improve and better their lives for having made that connection. So that's how you tell your friends and family you're a realtor. And once you make that initial connection, it's important that you stay top of mind with people. So added nugget is have a platform, social media wise, that you're keeping top of mind with people, where you're sharing regular content, regular real estate updates, news, stuff that's educational too, but that's going to help you to stay top of mind, and that these friends and family members, you know, they start to understand over time that you are very serious about what you're doing in the business and you're very knowledgeable about what you're doing. Because that's really the way that you're going to earn their trust and respect over time. They're not just going to respect you because you got a real estate license. They got to see proof, a concept that this is something you're going to not just start with, but stick with and actually truly be able to help people in the process. It's based on what they're going to see you do over the course of time. So that's your opportunity. But to summarize how to help your friends and family, one, dial in your intent. What is your intention with this? Is it to help people or sell people? Because if your only goal is to sell people, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're not going to get too far, at least not without an insane amount of grit and sheer work ethic. I mean, yeah, you'll get the results, but you won't get anywhere near the result if you had a genuine intent going into these conversations, truly wanting to help people and make their lives better. Second thing is, know the goal of these conversations. With your warm network, it's for them to connect you with people that they know who could use what it is you have to offer. It's not that person you're connected with would work with you. If they do, great. If they want your help, great, but that's not the goal with these conversations. The third thing is your approach. Have something of high value to offer, bring it to the table, and use questions to take the conversation in the direction you want it to go, and land on the question of who that person knows who could use what it is you have to offer, and dig deeper on it whenever possible, and know at the end of the day, you're here to help. And that's how you do it. So if you found this helpful, do this. Hit that subscribe button. I want to be able to continue to share helpful tips and resources with you to help you build and improve your income and life in real estate in the time ahead. And if there is anything I can potentially do to help you beyond this video, I help real estate agents all across the map increase their sales production and really scale their business. And so if there's anything along those lines I can do to potentially help and give you feedback on, go ahead and send me an email. You'll find that in the description below, along with some other helpful resources for you. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching the video. Until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.